Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Sagittarius, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's so lovely to see you. And we open our reading with the energy of the Four of Swords. This is one of, ease, really. It's not like an ultimate, everlasting kind of ease, but this is, kind of a pause from conflict, a pause from things just really being maybe a bit chaotic, a bit trying emotionally, volatile, possibly mentally draining. Okay, that's just the biggest feeling I get when I see this card. I'm like, okay, we've been through some really, tiring stuff, exhausting stuff. And although maybe the final decision or plan or option has not been realized, but at least we're at a place where things can kind of chill out. You can rest, relax, and hopefully return to this situation, this dynamic, this whatever's going on with open eyes, clear head, feeling grounded, right? Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to turn this thing. We're going to see what the tea leaves want to tell us. And I want to say thank you so much for deciding to click on this video, this little thumbnail out there in space. And you decided, hey, I'm going to check this out. And I appreciate that. I really do. So now let's go ahead. We're going to see what these tea leaves have going on. And I just, I cannot believe. Oh, look at this. This is, okay, let's see. We're going to go over here. I cannot believe that this year has passed so fast already. It's like halfway through the year, you guys. How? Now look at this. We have, let me make sure I can come into focus here. There we go. Joy. 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 I mean, it could be a name for sure, but I feel like it is a sense of purpose. That's what it feels like. I am looking for some joy in my life. And I feel like it's been a while. I feel like you have been putting out little fires here, there, everywhere. Life has been busy. It has been overwhelming. It has been just like, I don't know. I have a 4-year-old, okay? She's almost 5. And we go to a lot of like kid-related things, right? All these little events and activities, and some are indoors, some are outdoors. They're all loud. That's what they have. That's what they have in common is they're all loud. There are just so many kids, parents. It's just loud. And that's the feeling I get when I'm in a environment like that for too long. I'm becoming overstimulated and I'm trying to manage, right? Just trying to get through, trying to keep that gaze forward, strong, powerful eyes, a heart with resolve, sweaty hands, anxiety attack. No, I'm joking. Not really. It is like that. But it does. It feels like you have come from this loud place. Now, it maybe wasn't actually loud, but there are like emotions. It just feels hot to me. I don't know. If you have ever lived in like a really humid place, or you've ever visited a really humid place, and you it's hot outside, it's thick, it's and there's no hiding from it. I mean, yeah, you can like really like close off a room and put the AC on and darken it and all of that. And yeah, but when it's super humid and right, you go out somewhere, you're going to a bar or a show or, something, and you go from outside, which is miserable, to inside, and it feels like you're walking into like a sauna. I mean, it's hot. You can feel the wall of heat as you're walking into it. And that's the feeling. It just feels like, this oppressive, overwhelming, overstimulating, just being pulled in every direction. And now being able to walk out of that. I don't know how long you'll be out of it, but I know that there is a sense of, okay, I'm getting away from this. Now, if you've ever been to like a big concert or, like a festival outside or something, and as you walk away from a stage and you're kind of that muffly sound, as you get away from the music and your ears are just kind of shut, and you're like, oh gosh, I'm really doing a number on myself here. But it feels distant and muffled, and the further you walk away from it, the further away it feels, right? But you can still feel it. You can still hear it. You definitely can feel the lasting effects of it, but there's a bit of peace coming over your heart. That's what it feels like to me. You can breathe. Okay, now I'm out of the sea of people and all of the noise and all of the emotions and everything I'm like kind of internalizing. And that's the other thing I feel about you, is that you at times, I think when you probably get like overwhelmed, maybe you're tired, exhausted, just feeling burnt out, right? And this leaves us open to, well, a lot of different things. Psychic attack is a big one, but, also just feeling like we can't always, like you can't call up these like basic functions we have to kind of even out our equilibrium, right? Get ourselves back to just normal baseline, right? And so I feel like, yeah, you've gotten to this point where it's like you almost feel like, I mean, literally, it's like a feeling of I'm dropping things all the time. I'm leaving things like the cabinet left open. You're walking away. You have like, different projects started and, half the laundry is done. The door's still open. You're out here picking up the living room and, you've only pulled out half of the stuff you need for dinner. It's just, we've all been there. We've all been there, and it's being pulled here, there, and everywhere. And it's hard to come down from that. Okay, but I think this is where we're at. We're in that phase where you're starting to kind of find some ease. Now, we have, it looks like, a skunk. I'm sorry. Not sorry, because skunks are awesome if they're not spraying. But right up here, it looks like here's the head, here's the eye, and then here's the little body. And the tail would be over here. We have the legs. And it looks like a little baby right here. Okay. We also have a face right here. It kind of looks like the face like of a sad clown. That's what I get, the sad clown. We also have, it looks like the word net, N-E-T. And it looks like we have a person at like a computer or something where they're sitting and working. It looks like a heart. I wonder if you have like a love interest on the internet, or maybe you're talking to somebody or you have a good friend, but I feel like you find a lot of this, like your phone, being online, on social medias. I feel like this is your outlet to people that you really actually feel like you connect with, versus maybe in real life, like you have people, you have family, you have friends, but not necessarily always like able to connect on the levels that you want to, within the realms that you want to. So I feel like, yeah, the online world has offered you an opportunity to find other people that are like-minded, and I feel like that's a wonderful thing. You know, if we are using that with a pinch of moderation, not spending our whole lives on the internets, right? But I personally have met most of my people in my life online, like the ones that I'm really close with. Now, I have a few people from, childhood, and others that I met, when I was a little younger and whatever. And then I have people now that I've met through my daughter, all of her stuff. But all of the people that I really deeply connect with, I've met online. Even my husband. You might know my husband, Paul, over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. He's amazing. We met on the internet. Heck, we dated long distance online. I mean, basically it was online. We weren't just online, but for years, couple years, So you see it all the time. It used to be that it was a weird thing. Now it's not. Now it's like, I think most people meet in kind of untraditional places these days. So I feel like with the skunk, to me, you know what this feels like? Like a person that is wonderful, beautiful, fun to be around. But there's always this like moment of things turning, and then it gets to be volatile, and then it gets to be them saying or doing or whatever, something that seems out of character, but they get pushed to this place more and more easily. And I feel like, not even push it, I shouldn't even say, that's such the wrong language. Why did I even say that? You can't push somebody to that place. I mean, maybe if you target them to get them there, right? But yeah, no, you're finding your own way to that place. Nobody's pushing you over there. So I feel like it's just somebody that that like you love or you want in your life or around somewhere in your life, but you also know you have to be so careful. You have to walk on eggshells, because if they get any kind of way, right? There's a potential for them to be stinking it up. And that stuff doesn't get off of you. I mean, this is somebody, that's going to like drag your name in public. This is like somebody who you get in a little argument, you don't do something that they want you to do, and they're going to let everybody know about it. Right. And also just really could just be like they go so far with it that they end up really leaving a lasting damage on your life, on their life, on the relationship. And so I feel also, though, that there is, maybe a child involved, a grandchild possibly. But I think this is one of the things that keeps you tied to this person. I mean, there is a belovedness, of course, but I also think that it's like, if you didn't have to continue down this path, you would not, right? The sad clown it's, I feel like part of what, and I'm not calling you a clown. Let me just say that. The sad clown's an archetype popularized, just it is an archetype, but I remember when it became super popular because of The Sopranos, right? And there is a scene where Tony says, I feel like the sad clown, right? And so what is this? It's, our need to kind of take care of everybody, to make sure everybody's good, to entertain, to try to lift everybody up, lift the spirits of the collective and so on, and putting yourself, at times maybe, in a situations that is detrimental to you or your psyche, just to make sure that everything is, good, copacetic, right? And I feel like in this next cycle of time, you're really getting away from this. I feel like you have reached that point where you just don't want to be that person anymore. Like people just expect it of you at this point. And I think, honestly, because we have this idea of wearing the face paint, it is one of kind of anonymity, one of being dehumanized to some degree, to not be seen, right? To not really be thought of as who you are, but what this character is that you're playing, right? And we all have this issue to some degree, because we make all of these personas. We have all these masks and hats and costumes that we wear to fulfill different aspects of our life. And we've been many people. We will be many people throughout our lives. So I feel like this is kind of, and now as we're looking at it like this, I see this as being kind of like an angel, right? But to me, it's also this kind of a sense of a psychopomp, which is a God, a deity, some kind of divine being, entity, that leads you through the process of, death, right? And into the afterlife or underworld or, whatever, purgatory, where your soul is judged, or, whatever you believe or what might be. I don't know. I know it's a motif that, is very popular in a lot of belief systems. But I don't think that this is like a physical death so much as a going from one chapter of your life into the next and becoming something else, right? You are transmuting. You are evolving. And I do. I feel like there is a very potent angelical force that is in your life. You feel the presence. And I think that part of, the fact that everything in the world feels so chaotic lately, a lot of people in really difficult positions, we're getting, I think, collectively to a point where a lot of us are, just not going to keep putting off the work that we know we need to do, because against this absurdity that has arisen, and it's always been absurd and chaotic, of course, but I don't know if it's just because I'm getting to that age where I'm like hyper aware of the fragility of everything, or, the world is just really very, it feels, we're in a transition. It feels like there is, I don't know, there's a big shift happening, and that to me is exciting. It's also very, you don't know. You just don't know what is the next thing. So I feel like it makes sense, though, that against all of this, the atmosphere that we find ourselves in, that the deeper interior work would demand to be done. Right? Because we're going through a balancing. And so I feel like you are no different Absolutely. You are part of this huge shift that seems to be happening. Okay, so now we have also the Empress right over here, gazing towards, which I'm going to look at as a sign of Taurus. So I do feel like there is maybe a kindredness or alliance with somebody who is a Taurus in your life. And we have two people kind of almost like in, like their arm. Okay, so here are the heads. 1, 2, face to face. This one has their arm up and it's like they're holding something, right? And then over here, this person has something they're holding up. It looks like the number 6329, 6329. And so I almost feel, I have to say, I almost feel like this is somebody who you have some kind of relationship with. It feels like there's some kind of union. I feel like it is maybe a romantic relationship, but an older one. I feel like this has been going on for a while. It has to have been, because it seems like there really is this kind of resentment and back and forth that goes on between you two. You love each other, yet at the same time, you have this like, it's not an impulse, but this like pull to destruction. I mean, at times I feel like there's an equal part of love and hate here, right? And listen, it happens in relationships, even the best of them. You do go through those periods. Now, I don't think that you stayed with this person, but I do feel that dynamic, and I think it played out for a long time, really affected your desire to connect with people in this way. I wonder if you are somebody who is just kind of over all of that, like the dating, the games, the trying to navigate relationships, and so on and so forth. Even if you are like married, I feel like, for you, it is really just about like finding some amount of peace in life and companionship. All of the rest, it's like, okay, it would be wonderful and great if we connected on all levels, but just to like be cool and to be able to live together and, get along well enough, that is enough. And that, you know what? I think a lot of us have felt this way. Absolutely. So, I think right now the big focus is on kind of reinventing yourself, and with that Empress energy, that is all about that rebirth. The Empress is very much related to the spring and fall, the rebirth of all of the life around us in spring. And then when we get into the harvest, of course, it goes from Persephone to Demeter. Now, we have joy, right? We talked about that earlier. Joy. And that's it. You're looking for your little pieces of joy. And I believe very deeply that you will find them. I feel your heart really kind of feeling less heavy all the time as you are doing this work, as you are really focused on yourself. And it's a lot about self-love. It's really a lot about advocating for self. Putting yourself first and prioritizing your well-being. Now, we also have a large E. A large E. And I think that it must be a name. I think it's somebody's name. I think it's a feminine person who is older. and maybe has already transitioned, that is passed away. And I feel like you've been thinking about her, and she hears you. And I think that's it. In the quiet little moments, you think about her. And it's being, recognized. Okay, let's do our 3 lucky numbers. 3 lucky numbers. 68. 41. 38. Awesome. Okay, and we will do our wild bohemian affirmation cards. And I will just flip and stop where it feels right. Gorgeous. These cards are so cute. 36. I am soulful. You have the heart strength to give love freely. You are wise to be lighthearted. Didn't we just talk about your heart getting lighter? See, the universe is agreeing with me. Yes, it is. I do. I feel your heart getting lighter. It really, a relief, a sense of relief. Okay, so the Dreamer's deck, I'm just going to flip through, stop where it feels right. And it says, I know that focusing my attention on things I cannot control distracts me from my journey. I'm letting go. I am letting go. All right, Sagittarius, I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank you for being here with me today. It's always such an honor. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Also, just really wondering what everybody is reading this summer or winter, wherever you are. If you're in the southern hemisphere, it is winter almost. And yeah, what are you reading? I'm looking around. I've been reading Clarice Lispector and some Anais Nin. I always return to her. She was like, my teenage hero. Her and Francesca Leah Block, if you've ever read her. She actually has some really interesting fairy tales. But when I was a kid, I was really into making zines, which are kind of like handmade magazines. And they're really big and I don't know. When I was young, it was like the punk world, the riot girl movement, and all of that. And anyway, Francesca Leah Block, she put out this book called Zine Scene, which was kind of cool. It had a collection of different kinds of zine stuff, material, but also kind of taught you how to, make your own zine. So that was one, and then her little novelettes are just gorgeous, right? Has a very 90s feel to them, but they spoke to me when I was a kid. So yeah, go check her out. I'm always pushing for Francesca Leah Block, but yeah, I'm looking for some other stuff to read, I guess. I don't know. I feel a little shiftless right now, or directionless, I should say. A little shifting and directionless as far as what I want to be consuming for literature. All right, Sagittarius, I love you, I love you, I love you. Please take care of yourself, and we're going to talk here in just a few days from now. All right. Good night, good night, good night.